and welcome to Influence to Inbound and how content marketing is the new key to your retirement plan business's success. Over the next 50 minutes, we are going to have a highly interactive presentation. We're going to start it off with a video so that way we can recall how far we have advanced over the last 20 years when it comes to marketing and technology. Then we've got a game where we're going to discuss traditional marketing mediums and their modern day equivalent. And then last but definitely not least, on the microsite that you are currently on, there is a worksheet. In the worksheet, you will be able to identify 3 specific action items that you can take to immediately enhance your marketing to become the go-to retirement plan advisor within your community. So with that, let's play our video.
You've got mail. Did you see the memo about this?
All right. Wow, doesn't that literally feel like yesterday? The baby with the phone, the WhatsApp, Super Bowl commercial, and Office Space. I know for a lot of us listening today, it literally feels like the blink of an eye. Yet most of those clips are from 20 years ago. And the reason we bring that video up is because a lot of the sales and marketing techniques that we've used to build our businesses are going to be different sales and marketing techniques that are going to get us to our future selves. Many of us here started with door-to-door sales. Did you do door-to-door sales? What about smiling and dialing, picking up the phone and cold calling? Yes. When we were doing research for this presentation, we talked to some of our clients and we said, hey, think back 20 years ago. What were you doing as part of your marketing campaigns? And one of our clients shared with us that he used to give away road atlases. A road atlas, that is a map. So he would call up a prospect and say, hey, I'd like to come out and visit with you. And as a complimentary giveaway, I'm going to present with you this road atlas map. So that way, when then that person got into their vehicle and they were driving to their next meeting, they could identify where that client was on the map and then drive there. What? Can you imagine today getting into your car and not knowing if there's construction or if there's traffic or turn-by-turn directions? So I think it's fair to say that technology has advanced a lot. So much so, in 1999, there were only 3 million websites. Today, there are 1.8 billion websites. Social media literally did not exist. And many of us were on our first iterations of cell phones. So for those of us listening at home or at our offices, take out your cell phone. Just take it out and kind of put it on the table next to you. And if you have sent a text message today, just kind of shake your head. Yeah, I sent a text message today. If you have checked your email on your phone, can I shake your head? Yes, I did that. I totally did that. Well, think about your home. In your home, do you have any smart devices like an Amazon, Alexa, or a Google Home? Okay, now at the conference, we ask everyone here to look around because what we find is about half the audience has some sort of smart device. And the reason I bring that up is because we are changing the way in which we search and seek out information. So whether it's on our phones, on our desktops, or on our smart devices, the way that we're asking questions is evolving. So much so that Google changes their search engine algorithm over 4,000 times a year, so that way they can capture the questions, record them, and then the next time someone else asks something similar, they can return better data. So now let's take a moment and ask some questions. All right, so a couple fun trivia questions here. Can you tell me when FI 360 was founded? Just take a wild guess. When do you think FI 360 was founded? So what we're doing in this section is we're taking a look back over companies in the last 20 years that have changed the way that everyone lives their lives and how we have enhanced our businesses. So fun fact, FI 360 was founded in 1999, over 20 years ago. And if you were an original FI 360 subscriber, you were a technology pioneer. MailChimp came out in 2001, one of the very first email automation programs out there. LinkedIn launched in 2002. And then who here, think about it, who uses Redtail or has used Redtail in the past as their CRM? Well, they came out in 2003. And then look at all the rest of these companies that have literally changed the way that we do business and we live our organic lives. So our question for everyone here is, as a retirement plan advisor, how have you taken advantage of these technology enhancements? When you think about your business, who do you consider to be your top salesperson? Is it you, or do you believe it's the digital version of you? Well, guess what? Surprise! It is the digital version of you. On average, each advisor receives approximately 5 social media views per day, 121 inbound emails, 40 sent emails, and approximately 15 site visitors. Now, if we take a moment and we look at that in a different way, 5 social media views. What that means is that 5 people are going to your LinkedIn profile and saying, hey, excuse me, couple quick questions. Who are you? What's your background and what's your experience? Then on your website, you have 15 people per day knocking on your digital storefront and going, hey, what are you guys doing there? What do you do? Could you imagine in real life if you had 20 people per day walking up to you and saying, hi, I'd like to know more about you and what you do? 20 people per day. That's that's happening right now. If that were the reality, how would you maximize that opportunity? On average, an advisor has 4 actual face-to-face meetings and 136 digital daily activities. So who here is interested in having 10 times more activities? The name of this presentation is called Influence to Inbound, because the goal of this presentation is to generate tons and tons of awareness and influence about you, which is going to create a quality list, a pipeline of prospects that are going to self-select into learning more about the valuable services that you provide, creating quality leads and ultimately inbound activities. So let's take the first step. We want to meet the digital version of you. In order to shorten your sales cycle, there are 3 golden rules. Your prospects have to know you, like you, and trust you. 86% of people are going to Google you in advance of meeting you. Like you, when they digitally meet you, we want your digital reputation to meet their expectations. And then when they actually shake your hand for the very first time, we want your digital persona to align with your professionalism. So please grab those smartphones one more time. And what I'd like you to do is to log into your LinkedIn account. So open up the LinkedIn app. Open up the LinkedIn app right there, okay? And then on the right-hand side, you're going to see a small photo of your professional headshot. Please click on that photo and bring up your LinkedIn profile. All right, should kind of look like what you see on the screen here. All right, so right here, I'm going to give you 5 quick LinkedIn ideas to immediately strengthen your profile. And the reason why we want to strengthen your profile is because strong profiles get 21 times more views than weak profiles. 21 more times. That's pretty great, right? Okay, so behind my head, it says retirement plan marketing is a journey. This is called a banner. So look at your profile. Does it have a banner? If it does, great. If it does not, you've come to the right place. You're on the microsite. We have about 20 different banner options. Choose one that you think looks beautiful and represents you and place it on the backdrop of your LinkedIn profile. And that one picture alone, because your profile looks more complete, could potentially lead to 21 times more views. Wow, one photo, one photo. All right, keep your phones and scroll down just a little bit. Everyone listening has over 500 connections. Yes, I knew we were a connected crowd. All right, so next you want to look at articles and activities. And we want to actually see articles and activities listed here. A lot of times what we end up seeing when we do a digital audit for our clients is this. One comment, one post. Very, very little activity. And what we want to see is this. Lots of information, news articles, comments, sharing, liking. And the reason why is because 45% of the people who read the information on LinkedIn are upper level managers and leaders at companies. So the actual folks who are scrolling through LinkedIn looking for information, guess who they are? They're your prospects. They're your ideal retirement plan committee member prospects. And when they come to your LinkedIn profile, you want to demonstrate that you, based on social media, your interactions and what you like, are highly involved in the 401k space. So as they're looking at their profile, they go, wow, this person's going to have great information on rules and regulations and trends and ideas to help us advance our retirement plan forward. So make sure, so take a look at your profile and see if you have articles and activities. Another thing recently, LinkedIn has changed their algorithm and they are giving lots and lots of preferential treatment to pictures and videos. Pictures and videos. So the next time you are at a conference, you're with a client, you're at a charity event, and you want to incorporate social media, take a picture, post it online and say, hey, this is why I'm taking time out of my business to be here to learn about this. And this is how it is going to help you enhance your company's retirement plan. And you can also take a video if you'd like as well. LinkedIn is a big fan of both pictures and videos, and they will recycle that information on other people's news feeds, which really creates this wonderful social media multiplying effect. So keep your thumb one more down. All right. See on the right-hand side, you have all those respective logos, okay? what we want to see on your profile are also the icons and logos of the companies carried forward. A lot of times when many of us set up originally our LinkedIn profile, their company pages did not exist. That's changed. Most companies now have a company page. If you do not have your logos coming through, you will actually see gray boxes. They're gray square boxes. Well, if you see a gray square box, please click on that pencil icon right there, right here, and find the company, retype in the name of the company that you worked for and or work with. And what you'll do is you'll notice that the logo will then pull forward, which makes your profile look more complete, which leads to 21 times more views. All right, so I mentioned this earlier. Quick trivia question here. When did LinkedIn launch? What year? 2002. And this gentleman's profile we're looking at, his profile looks like it is from 2002. We want your profile to look like this gentleman's here, where there's a great professional headshot, lots of connections, a great banner image, a summary, so that way when the director of HR is starting to evaluate who they should hire and who they should bring in to interview to become their retirement plan advisor, your profile stands out. Now, within the 401k world, a lot of times the decision-making process actually begins here, the director of HR. They're in a meeting, they're part of the company's retirement plan committee, and the committee decides, well, we need to start benchmarking and evaluating our advisor. Well, interesting enough, 7 out of 10 directors of HR are female, and their average age is 42 years old. Now, this woman knows how to use LinkedIn, and she wants to make her day more efficient and effective. So if she's researching to find a new advisor and she comes across these two profiles because they were both professional introductions, and she's starting to compare and contrast, who immediately stands out as the front runner? We want your prospects to digitally notice you. Now, those are 5 quick hits that you can use to immediately strengthen your LinkedIn profile. For more information, you are on the right site. On this microsite, we've got checklists, we've got infographics, we've got blogs, we've got pictures, all to help you specifically strengthen your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so now let's take a moment and start talking about content. Also, if at any point during this presentation that you're currently listening to, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us or to direct message us through LinkedIn or through Twitter. We'd be very happy to help you and to support you. We want to make sure that you get the most value out of today's conversation. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us directly. We're here to help you. All right. Okay, so now we're going to talk about content. So what are you doing within your business to create lots of awareness and influence? So when people think retirement plan advisor, they immediately think of you. Are you doing videos, blogs, newsletters, social media, seminars, digital ads, retargeting? Whew! Oh, doesn't it feel like every once in a while that technology is evolving at a whirlwind pace? Whirlwind pace. Whew. Anyone ever feel that way? Anyone ever? I know I do. I do sometimes. So fast, lightning quick. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to play a game. We're going to play a game. And it is called the look-alike game. Because since the dawn of humanity, we as a human species actually haven't changed that much. We still have 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 ears, 2 eyes, a nose and a mouth. We can only consume information based on our 5 senses. And that actually hasn't changed since the dawn of humanity. We did lose that tail, though. Did you lose that tail? Okay, so here's the example. 20 years ago, if you were to write your client a letter and mail it to them, what would be the modern day equivalent of a letter? So traditional means of marketing, 20 years ago, you sat down, you wrote your client a letter. Today, nowadays, you're at your office and you want to send your client some information. How do you do it? Yeah, you got it. It's an email, right? So you send them an email. So that's the name of this game. I'm going to show you 12 cards in just a second. And what I'd like you to do is to look at those 12 cards and to start to figure out what is the traditional means of marketing, what you would have done 20 years ago, and what is the modern day equivalent of that style or medium of marketing. And the point of this game is so that way we realize we haven't changed that much. Just the names and the terms that we use. That's all that's evolved. We as a human species, same thing. 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 ears, 2 nose, 1 nose, 2 eyes, a nose and a mouth. All right, so here are our lovely cards du jour. Please take a couple of moments, look at them. Maybe if you have a piece of paper on the right-hand side of your desk, you want to jot them down. And we've got 2 minutes on the clock. All right, how are we doing? About halfway there. Pretty good. How's everyone feeling? All right. Good job. Okay. So like we mentioned 20 years ago, you sent the letter, and modern day equivalent is an email. All right. What about this one? An article. What is the modern day equivalent of an article? You guessed it. It's a blog post. That's what it is. It's just a blog post. Now, for those of you who here has ever written an article for a magazine, a newsletter, or a local circular? If you've ever written an article, just take that article and move it online, and now you have a blog post. What about a radio? What's the modern day equivalent of a radio? It's a podcast, right? It's a podcast. Anyone here ever done a radio show before or been guest featured on a radio show? Like some hit record, and now you've got a podcast. I don't know about you guys, but I recently have gone down the rabbit hole when it comes to podcasts. I love them. I'm obsessed with podcasts. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the way in which we as humans consume information is starting to change. So we can still only consume it based on the 5 senses. However, now we're more selective than ever before. We don't like disruption marketing. We don't like it when someone disrupts our day. You know, examples of that are TV commercials. Who still watches TV commercials? Unless it's the Super Bowl. But other than that, no one watches them. Radio ads, most of us have, you know, a Pandora or a Spotify, where we pay for some sort of radio service. Podcasts are a great example of that. Most people, by the way, when they listen to a podcast, they finish it. 86% of people finish the podcast when they get to the end. I think that's fascinating. And the reason I'm sharing all of this is because sales and marketing has had to evolve, because as a consumer, our taste for advertisements have also shifted. We're now going towards more influencer marketing, where we're seeking out these answers on our own, and then only once we've reached a certain level of research satisfaction and due diligence do we then allow the next step of that pipeline to happen. We're highly skeptical, and that's okay. The reason I'm sharing this again is because what we're talking about in the traditional side of most of these cards are disruptions, things that used to interrupt our days. But now we're talking about, on the modern side, activities that enhance our education, our learning, and we feel more informed consumers. And so everyone in here today, everyone, think about how you'd like to receive information. What do you prefer? Is it someone walking into your office on a door-to-door excursion saying, "Hi, I was in the neighborhood"? Do you like that? Or do you prefer to read a blog article, start to get some more information, go on YouTube, watch a couple of explainer videos, and then proactively reach out? So start to think about how you like to consume information. And in this next section of the presentation, we're going to talk about how to put that all together into a modern day drip campaign. All right, so this one's one of my favorites, cocktail party. What is the modern day equivalent of a cocktail party? It is social media. You are sharing stories, sharing news, sharing trends. You're high-fiving each other. By the way, a like on social media, that's a high five. That is a digital high five. What about this? A seminar. Anyone here ever done a breakfast seminar, a lunch seminar? Modern day equivalent? Webinar. Next time you do a webinar, record it, post it online, post it on YouTube. Number one search engine in the world is Google. Number two search engine in the world is YouTube. Let's just hypothetically say, I am the new director of HR. And I was recently asked to join our company's retirement plan committee. Now, as the new person, I actually don't know that much about what does it mean to be on a retirement plan committee. So if I start to look up information, and one of the ways I like to self-inform is through YouTube, I go on YouTube and I type in retirement plan committee. And then a video comes up, and it's a video that you created, so it's a recorded webinar, and it says something like, "Welcome to the retirement plan committee, a how-to on fiduciary best practices." How great is that? I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing and be like, "This is amazing." And I'm gonna start to say, "Who are you? What do you do?" Maybe I'll check out your social media profile. Maybe I'll go to your website. Your clients nowadays don't have to be next door to you, right? No one in here next door. It can be anywhere in the country. And with that, you can start to leverage the power of the internet. So you can expand your reach so people can find you, self-select into your pipeline, and ultimately convert into inbound leads and clients. All right, last one. Storefront. What is the modern day equivalent of storefront? It's your website. It's absolutely your website. So, all right, everyone, did you get all 12? Anyone get all 12? Well, either way, pat yourself on the back. The point of this was to help everyone start to think about marketing and the traditional means of marketing, and then how to update it so it's the modern day equivalent. So now we're going to take that next step forward, and we're going to talk about how you can actually create a modern day drip campaign. In this section, we're talking about content curation and creation, why it's so important for data collection and analysis, and then how to bring it all together. So first things first, when it comes to content, you have to have a topic. You got to pick a topic. Then you have to research the topic. What's your point of view? Do you have any statistics that you want to reference? And then you got to share it with the world. For 4 macro topics that are very popular in the plan sponsor place: fiduciary plan governance, financial wellness, plan design administration, and investment oversight. The next question you want to ask is, who is going to write the content? Who is going to create it? Is it you? Are you going to partner and subscribe for content, or are you going to outsource it all together to a professional? So who's going to actually create the materials? Now, The other question I want you to start to think about is, who are the decision makers that you're currently marketing towards? Right now in our country, we have the greatest shift in a generation that we've ever seen. Baby boomers are retiring at 10,000 per day. And a lot of those baby boomers who are leaders in companies are starting to retire, right? So a lot of those organizations are experiencing a generational shift in leadership. The next generation of leaders are stepping into those shoes. So we're starting to see the exodus of baby boomers and the rise of Gen X and Gen Y. So let's hypothetically say, Robert, let's meet Robert. Robert is the brand new appointed CEO of Kensington Group. In our country today, the average CEO is 53 years old. And as his first year at the helm of the Kensington Group, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to start to evaluate the company's service providers, right? And one of those service providers is the retirement plan advisor. So what's Robert going to do? Well, 72% of Gen X is going to use the internet to research the business. Then Robert, 1 out of 3, are going to fact check that information on LinkedIn. The average CEO is 930 connections. And if Robert discovers that the current advisor is golf buddies with the former CEO, do you think that Robert is going to start to open up a due diligence questionnaire, an RFP? Or do you think he's going to be cool with that? Robert understands we live in a very litigious landscape now. Things are changing. Retirement plans are not the third stool anymore when it comes to saving for your future. So he's most likely going to take some actions to start to say, who should we bring in to start to have this, open this Pandora's box, open the conversation to identify what is the right advisor for our plan and what are the services that they can provide for us. So when you are thinking about your marketing, think about the people who are in the room. What's their generation? And then how do they like to consume information? So baby boomers, by the way, prefer face-to-face conversations, printed newsletters, and they actually really love a friendly phone call, baby boomers. Your Gen X, they prefer email. This is Robert. He prefers email. He does not like hard sales pitches at all. And he actually appreciates researching online before making a decision. He likes to be informed. Your Gen Ys, they begin their research through social media, and then they follow up with YouTube. They like videos. And then your millennials, big fans of having brands that have a strong presence and highly mobile-friendly websites. Millennials can be very technology savvy. So think about that. Who are the folks who are in the decision-making room? What type of marketing are you using so that way the people in the room are consuming your content the way, specifically, the way in which they like to receive information? All right, so now I guess if you want to take a step back for a second, think of it like this. Have you ever sent an email to one of your clients and they call you back? And you're like, man, I sent an email. I wish I got an email back because I'm running around all day today. Or vice versa. They reach out to you, you reach out to them on LinkedIn, and then they email you back. And you're like, oh man, I forgot the thread. Think about how people like to communicate and then reciprocate in the same way that they're connecting with you. That goes a long way with the psychology of humans and how we like to consume and receive and share quality information. Okay. All right. So this next section is data collection and analysis. 20 years ago, if you sat down with a prospect and they said, man, I'm really excited. I like what you're sharing. And you said, great. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. I'm going to get a new client. And all of a sudden, they just went quiet on you. Like, oh, I wonder what happened. I'm quiet. Well, nowadays, we don't have to take a person's word for their future activities. Instead, we can capture data, and the activities that they're doing are going to paint a much bigger, honest picture of what they're interested in and where they truly are within the pipeline funnel. So on your workbook, I ask everyone, do you have Google Analytics on the back end of your site? So I'm going to ask everyone here, do you have Google Analytics on the back end of your site? If you do not, I'm going to teach you real quick how to do it. If you do, awesome. Take a look after this presentation at your own Google Analytics. I think some of the information will really surprise and impress you. So to sign up for Google Analytics, it's pretty simple. Go to analytics.google.com, sign up, add the tracking code to the back end of your site, and then they start to capture that data. And it looks like this. So you can see all of the viewers that are coming to your site. Could you imagine if you found out that you had 5 people a day visiting your website? 50 people a day? 500 people visiting your website per day. How would that change the way you think about the importance of data collection? This is our country, and this shows us across the United States which people in each state are searching for help with 401k marketing. Now, I want you to look at the middle of our country. There's a giant square, and that square is Wyoming, the great state of Wyoming. And no one in the great state of Wyoming is looking for help to marketing for 401k plans. So if anyone here is looking for wide open spaces with no competition, Wyoming is literally a grand opportunity set. But for today's conversation, we're going to focus in on Nashville, Tennessee, where we have 42 people who are organically looking for help marketing with 401k plans in Nashville. And when they come to our website, they go to our homepage, then they go to our About Us page, and then they go and they visit one of our blog articles. So when you start to understand the behavior of the prospects visiting your website, you can start to carve the way in which they convert from a curious site visitor into an inbound lead. Let me show you how. So here I am. I am the director of HR. I was just tasked with starting the due diligence process of finding a new advisor. And I reach out to fellow centers of influence for introductions. I also search online, starting to figure out how can I find a retirement plan advisor. And so I come to this website and it says, let us help you write your retirement story. I go, wow, that sounds nice. That sounds very nice. And I'm clicking around and I'm scrolling. And then this light box appears and it says, hey, stay ahead this year with retirement plan compliance deadlines. Download the 2019 compliance calendar. Now, I'm the director of HR. I have a lot of dates in my life, not the fun ones. So chances are this applies directly to me. So I'm going to be typing away my email address to hit download because I want this information. Has anyone here ever been on a website and before you know it, you're filling out the contact form, your fingers are typing faster than you can process it? Why? Because that information is relevant to you. You want that information. And you can do this on your website as well. And these are called light boxes. So the idea is to capture the curious prospects data, automatically create a contact record in your CRM. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And then begin to automatically add them to your email campaign. So why do you want their email addresses? Well, first of all, you want to know who's researching you. Who are these people? Develop a warm prospect list, and ultimately create a pipeline of inbound 401k leads. If you think of it another way, you could be sharing the world's greatest content, but if you only have 4 people on your contact list, how is that amplifying your voice? You want to fill your auditorium, fill the quality list of your clients, your prospects, your centers of influence. So that way, when you're sharing your amazing ideas and contents and thought leadership, you're putting it to the right people who are going to act as multipliers to your information. And when you put it all together, it looks like this. So the curious HR director added in their email address. They got their new compliance calendar, and now they're into your email sequence. So based on how that person's consuming your data, you will send out different pieces of content that's specific to what they're interested in. So here I am, curious prospect. I'm on your website. I'm super interested. Fill it out, and now I am consistently receiving quality information about you. I have self-selected my professional services into your pipeline for more information. Now, a lot of times, this is what happens. Our clients go, that sounds really cool. We can't do it though. How can we do this? None of our technology talks to each other. Well, I'd like to introduce you to a company called Zapier. Zapier is a technology firm that connects technology. I mentioned that MailChimp started in 2001 and Redtail started in 2003. And they have what's called a Zap, where you can have someone fill out their contact information via a lightbox on your website and automatically create that contact record within your Redtail CRM. Same thing with Salesforce and Constant Contact, Microsoft Dynamics, and lots of other CRMs that are out there, as well as lots of other email automation programs. Visit this website. Feel free to take a screenshot of this or a picture of this. Add in the name of the company that you use for your CRM, and then find out which email automation program links with that. So that way you can use efficient, effective technology so everything is talking together and you can start to capture that data. When you capture the data, you can start to build lead scores and figure out who's at the top of your sales funnel and who's ready to convert as a prospect. Then you can drill into your prospect data and see what are they clicking on? What are they opening? What information do they want more of? So let's say I am the CEO of a company and I am reading information about cash balance plans, about fee benchmarking, and about plan design. Well, what do I have on the, what am I thinking about? What am I thinking? I'm thinking about dollars and cents, tax savings, cost savings. When you have that information and you know, as the CEO, I'm interested in that, when you and I meet and sit down, what do you think I want to talk about? And how much do you believe that's going to enhance your conversation? A ton, right? That'd be great. All right, so what do you guys think? Are we mad scientists over here? All right, so who here wants more leads? Anyone who want more? To do that, I'm going to give you 4 different ideas. The first one is to sign up for Google Ads. Google Ads are a way that when people enter information into Google's search engine, like here, marketing for 401k plans, that the information that appears are going to be advertisements about that. Plan sponsors, when they're Googling for information, might type in retirement plan advisor, pension advisor, 401k, fiduciary. What does it mean? Broker of record. And if you set up your Google Ads properly, you can be one of the first companies that appears right there. So that way they'll go, oh, that's interesting. And they'll click and they'll learn more about you. By the way, if you want to know what plan sponsors are actually looking for on Google, please visit the microsite that you're currently on. Scroll down left-hand side and you will find the 20 keywords that plan sponsors are actually putting into Google to find their new retirement plan advisors and to do more due diligence. Next are display ads. So have you in your business ever done an advertisement in a magazine, a newsletter, or a public circular? Like a picture ad, you know, like a 4-inch by 4-inch picture ad or like a half-page picture ad? Well, if you have, awesome. If you haven't, here's an idea. Take those picture ads and bring them online. They're called display ads. You'll see it, one of the examples right here is JP Morgan's. It says 5 minutes to smarter target date selection. That's called a display ad. Nationwide, honored to be ranked highest in group retirement satisfaction. that is also a display ad. And you can create display ads for your company, and so that way they'll be posted online, creating digital awareness of your organization. If you want more leads, create ads on LinkedIn. So as we know, in the Form 5500, we have the name of the plan administrator. However, we don't have the rest of the people's names, right? So let's say you go on LinkedIn and you type in all of the companies that you're really trying to target. Maybe then you geo-fence the area. So let's say you're in Nashville, Tennessee. You do 50 miles around Nashville, Tennessee. You enter in the companies you want to talk to, or maybe you just enter in the titles of leadership you want to be in front of. Presidents, CEOs, controllers, directors of HRs. And then you let LinkedIn go inside their database. And then LinkedIn will show your ads and your content on those professionals' news feeds. LinkedIn, by the way, has over 100 million senior level influencers and decision makers. 1 out of 5 people on LinkedIn are a decision maker within their company. Leverage the power of social media. And the last frontier is videos, creating short explainer videos that show up in advance, which are cool, new, interesting ways. And I mentioned earlier how Generation Y, so one of the newer leaders stepping up, they love video. So if you can be there providing that information, it's going to help to convert some of your curious prospects into inbound clients. All right, so it's our last section. And let's talk about content again. What are you using today? But more importantly, what do you want to be sharing tomorrow? In your workbook, there are a couple of different ideas on different styles of content marketing. So if we sat down together a year from right now, 365 days from today, and I say, hey, how's it going? How you been? What are you doing to market your business? What do you want to say? What are some of the ideas that you've learned today from the lookalike game that you'd say, you know what, I like to consume information that way. I like a good email campaign. I like blog articles. I'm a big fan of videos. How do you like to consume information? It's most likely the way that your clients like to as well. So on your worksheet, please mark off a couple of the ways that you would like to be creating content. We began this presentation with a video that was from 20 years ago. And for many of us, it literally felt like the blink of an eye. And the sales and marketing techniques that were very popular that many of us use to build our businesses are going to be different sales and marketing techniques that are going to launch us into the next generation of successful retirement plan advisors. Our goal here today is so that way you have 50 social media views per day, that you are automatically sending out 400 emails, and that your website has 150 site visitors. Could you imagine having over 600 digital activities per day, creating tons and tons of awareness, working through a quality list, creating a quality pipeline, and ultimately creating wonderful inbound leads. So we ask everyone here to please challenge your marketing, challenge what you're doing today, and to genuinely think about how you can capture your prospects' data, automatically create your CRM records, and begin an automated campaigns, drip marketing campaigns, so more people know who you are and why they should hire you. So they say, if you feed a man for a day, he eats for a day. Whereas with content marketing, we are teaching everyone here how to farm so that way you can eat for a lifetime. So I want to say cheers to everyone. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and cheers to a lifetime of inbound leads. Now, if you have any questions, again, I highly welcome them. And I got one more thing to share before we conclude today's presentation. Okay, on the back of the worksheet, we ask you, in order to see yourself grow your business in the future, what do you need to do? over the next 3 months, 1 year, and 3 years? Where do you see yourself growing? Please fill that out. We look forward to chatting with you. So, how can you take advantage of technology enhancements to grow your business into the next era? So, I want to say thank you, everyone, so much for joining today's presentation, Influenced Inbound, and how content marketing is the new key to your retirement plan business's success. I'm Rebecca Hourihan with 401k Marketing, and thank you so much for spending time with me today. Cheers.